Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm here to talk about two sneak peeks we got for The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 13. The first one was from Talking Dead, and it involves Daryl and Beta, and then the second one is from AMC's YouTube channel, which is about the Kingdom and the letter they got from the Highwaymen, and we're going to talk a little bit about this group and what it could be about. So before I get into all this, let me just say spoiler warning in case you aren't caught up with The Walking Dead, and if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, hit that subscribe button, but let's get started. So the first sneak peek, we have Beta here on his way to that building because he's obviously looking for Lydia, and he's going after that group. And it seems like there's a lot more walkers here than whispers. I could be wrong though, because they do a good job blending in, but maybe they didn't send that many whispers. I'm trying to like pause at certain moments, take a look at them to see which ones are whispers and which ones aren't. We know that one whisper is in the building with the blue shirt. He's gonna be here, and then we have one more whisper here. Beta tells this whisper to spread out. So there are a couple whispers. Just by the looks of it, it doesn't seem like there's that many whispers. It seems like there's more walkers here than whispers. And then we have Daryl on top of the building here on this ledge, and this is the building they stop out because Daryl wants to fight Beta. He even said it himself in the trailer. He was like, "I'm tired of running." So you know, he said like, remember he asked Lydia like, "Is Beta the toughest one or something?" And she said, "Yeah." And Daryl's like, "Yeah, we're gonna kill him first." So he's on top of this building, and he shoots down and hits this walker. And Beta knows he's low-key in some danger because I don't know if they see each other, but I think they might, because Beta kind of stops and just looks up, and then Daryl kind of stops and stops shooting. So I think he recognizes Beta from how tall he is. Like, here's a good shot of Beta in the middle of the herd, all these walkers and whispers around him, and yeah, he's smack dab in the middle. So without a doubt, I'm pretty sure Daryl notices him because of how tall he is. He's very noticeable in a crowd. It would be really interesting to see if Beta like he kind of gets a little worried, because Daryl's a good shot. Like, he just killed this walker right next to him. So I think it'd be pretty cool if maybe Beta stops pretending to be a walker. Not stops pretending to be a walker, but like he kind of maybe speeds on and walks a little fast, or he kind of walks in a weird maybe like a zigzag or something, just so Daryl doesn't shoot him, because I'm pretty sure Daryl's gonna try to shoot him. He told Lydia like, let's kill him first. So Daryl doesn't want any business. He just wants to kill Beta and move on. So I think there's no reason why he wouldn't take a shot at Beta. So I'm interested to see how Beta's gonna get out of this. But that was it for the sneak peek we got from the Talking Dead. It was a very short one, but I want to talk about the one we got from AMC's YouTube channel, where we have the Kingdom discussing the Highwaymen, because I'm very, very interested in this group. We all know that Daryl and Beta fight is coming. It's very, very exciting, but we really know nothing about this new group, and it's very, very interesting. So let's jump right into this sneak peek. So the sneak peek opens up with King Ezekiel reading the letter from the Highwaymen, and I'm assuming that they got this letter, just maybe somebody from the Highwaymen came up and handed it to somebody at the gates, because these communities always have people standing at the gates. Like, so that's really the only way we will get to King Ezekiel's hands. But I can't play the clip, but I will read what the letter said, because I wrote it down when he read it. He said, the letter says, "We are the Highwaymen. The road surrounding the kingdom belongs to us. All visitors attempting to travel to your fair will be turned back unless you pay our toll." So that's really interesting, because on the trailer they gave us for episode 13, they made it seem like King Ezekiel was talking to the Highwaymen, and he was saying like, the road surrounding the kingdom belongs to us unless you pay our toll. So that's why we can never trust those sneak peeks 100%. But it's the letter. He was reading out loud the letter. Another thing we learned in this sneak peek is that the kingdom has never met the Highway group before. Like, it's a brand new group, so they weren't involved in anything in between the 6-year time jump or anything like that, because they were discussing like who this group could be. And Diane said maybe it could be Jed's group, the Saviors. And then Carol said, no, it's not them, because you guys remember. This group is very interesting though, because I mean, they're very savior-like. I will say that, saying that pay us our toll, the roads belong to us, and they're kind of like demanding stuff from the kingdom, which kind of doesn't make sense, because the kingdom has been there for like almost 10 years, and maybe they're just a little worried, because King Ezekiel did say like, gather every fighter we could spare. But based on that trailer, there's only a couple people on those horses. Like, maybe they came from a bigger community. That's what I'm assuming. But This group is very interesting. Another odd thing about this group is that they somehow know about the fair. Now in the sneak peek, they kind of move past it because Jerry says, oh, they probably heard me talking about it, at the Royal Theater. And he says, I'm sorry. But then Ezekiel says the fair isn't even a secret. We need the fair. We're low on supplies. But still, how is this group going to know about the fair unless literally somebody was eavesdropping on them, which I don't know how that would, I don't know. I just, that's super weird to me. But it looks like that's really the only way they would know about the fair, unless they're somehow connected with the Hilltop or Alexandria, which I don't think so. But just the fact that they've been eavesdropping on the kingdom is just super weird to me. Here's the look we got at the Highwaymen in the trailer. We have them coming down this road, and it looks like there's only 4 of them, and this is probably them on their way to the kingdom. Because we have Jerry also looking through binoculars, so they're probably just gonna meet like in the front of the kingdom and discuss or something. But yeah, they probably came from a bigger community because there's only 4 here. I don't think they'd be this cocky and this like demanding if they only had 4 people. But what I think would be really cool if one savior that we recognize, I can't think of one on top of my mind right now that I know survived, but we know the sanctuary fell and the saviors are kind of on their own sometimes. I think it'd be pretty cool if there is somehow a savior that survived and he's part of the Highwaymen. I don't know. I just think that'd be pretty cool. One interesting theory I have heard about the Highwaymen is that they could possibly be part of the Whisperers. Now, I don't know about this. You guys let me know in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on this? I don't really think so because that's not something that that would be a completely different thing they added on the show, which I don't know. I don't really know why they would do that. I feel like there's a different purpose for this group, but it could be because it makes a little bit sense if you think about it, because why would they want to throw in a random group towards the end of the season, when we have the fair coming up and the Whispers are going to be a big part of the fair, as we know. Like, why throw in another group? Like, are they the Whispers? If I had to guess, I would say no, because in the letter they sent to the kingdom, they said anybody traveling to the fair will be turned back unless you pay our toll. So that's not something the Whisperers want. Like the Whisperers don't want people to give them items and stuff. That's why earlier in the video I was saying they're kind of savior-like. So I feel like it's just like this big bossy group that wants stuff from people and want like almost like the saviors in a way. And I think it'll be really interesting. And this would be crazy if this whole group is made up of like remaining saviors. I don't know about that, but it doesn't seem Whisper-like to me. It seems more Savior-like than Whisper-like. But it does look like the kingdom is going to get prepared to fight, so, we don't have to deal with people saying, like, nah, let's not fight, let's wait it out. But everybody seems to be on board here, because Jerry was like, people are counting on us here, and then, Carol agreed with him, saying that, Jerry's right, this fair could be our last chance. And then Ezekiel said, gather every fighter we can spare. So I think they're getting prepared in case, shit hits the roof. They're ready for a fight, which is good. We don't have to wait around for them to come to an agreement. One last thing I want to talk about is this guy right here, because we got this trailer way back in November, and, I know people were thinking this could be a Whisper, maybe just infiltrating the fair, but now it looks like this guy is part of the Highwaymen, because it looks like, he kind of fits that picture, and then he also has a horse like we saw in the trailer. They were riding horses, so this could be going on during the fair, because in the trailer it's kind of played where Jerry looks at this guy suspiciously and he kind of doesn't recognize him, and then he looks back at him, and we kind of have stuff set up in the back, so this could be going on during the fair. Like maybe because the fair is gonna have a lot of people there, like everybody from every community, and I think even Oceanside is gonna come back, so you could potentially sneak in there, but maybe Jerry recognizes this guy and says, hey, wait a minute, you're not a part of any community, what are you doing here? Because in the letter they were sending, they were pretty threatening, and it seems like they're willing to mess with the fair, so maybe they do infiltrate the fair. But I don't know, the Whisperers are supposed to be the ones to infiltrate the fair, so I don't know, maybe this group is hired by the Whisperers? No, I don't think so, but you guys let me know, what do you think? But this could also like maybe not be when the fair is going on, like maybe somehow this group forces himself inside of the kingdom and takes supplies, like the saviors did with a lot of groups. Like they kind of forced himself inside and then took supplies. Like maybe the same thing is going on here, with the Highwaymen. They kind of just, you know, force themselves. Maybe they capture some of the Kingdom Earths or one of the Kingdom Earths and says, let us in, or we're gonna kill him or her, and they have no choice but to let them take supplies, because that's what it looks like they want. So that's why I don't think they're involved with the Whispers, because the Whispers don't want people to give them supplies or anything. This group seems so savior-like to me. It's odd. But you guys let me know in the comments down below. You know, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think this group is about, and what do they want, and how are they going to play into effect with the rest of the season? But those were the 2 sneak peeks we got for The Walking Dead Season 9 Episode 13. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Again, all your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I'm very interested to hear. Again, thanks for watching, and for more Walking Dead content like this, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later.